Well, hi, Cindy from Impressing Ideas. I thought I'd come and do a quick tutorial for you and apologize for not being on social media. I mean, I just have been absolutely absent. I've had so much that, well, not I, we have been trying to wear all the hats that we're responsible for. And honestly, with this new bunch of silliness going on everywhere, all over social media, I just needed to turn it off. It was just as too hard for my heart to handle it all. So, anyhow, so sorry. We've been working really hard. We have updated and have been preparing the store so that when you are ready to come out and visit, when it's safe for you, then it's going to be fresh and ready. For those of you who haven't had the chance to come by, it probably looks entirely different. There is nothing that I haven't moved, nothing that I haven't cleaned, nothing that I haven't made fresh. And we are brimming to overflowing because, of course, while nobody could come in and shop, all of our orders have continued to come in. So we are just stuffed to the gills. Anyhow, past that, let's just have some fun. Let's show you what we're going to do tonight. Just a simple, pretty much thinking of you, and thanks ever so much. There are some very important ladies that are going to be getting this card. So I'm doing several of them right now, and I thought, well, this is just perfect because if you need to do several cards of any kind, I thought I would just take a moment and just kind of show you what that might look like. And hopefully I have some tips for you that will help you. So let's show you what we're going to use tonight. I'm going to set this aside. We're going to use the stamp called Sending You Lots of Love. Or sorry, it's called Mail Chick. It's from Stamping Bella. I've used this in a class before, and it's just one of those sweet, can be used for anything stamps. And then, of course, the sentiment is always wonderful as well. Stamping Bella is a turquoise rubber, cushion. Wonderful quality. I'm going to use my bone folder. We're going to use VersaFine Clair and the Lawn Fawn Premium Ink Black because I will be using my Touch alcohol markers. And when I say Touch, I mean Touch from Shinhan, not Touch New, not Touch 5. Those markers are not so lovely. These markers are lovely. We're going to use the Sizzix 3D textured embossing folder. This one is from Courtney Chilton and is called Bohemian Botanicals. We are going to use a nesting heart die. We're going to use some glue dots. We're going to use some Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock. We're going to use a brand new product from Nuvo. This is the new Glacier Paste. What color is this? Sea Sprite. This just arrived. We're going to use our embellishment wand from Studio Katia and her Arctic Breeze pearls. Let's see what else. We're going to use our art glitter glue. I'm going to use my self-inking hand-stamped by and our scoreboard. So let's get started. Let me set all this aside. All right, when I know I'm going to do a bunch of cards, I like to get out my cardstock, and once I decide which kind of opening it will be, is it going to be a side opening or a top folding, I'm going to go ahead and score for those two cards once. So in this case, I know I'm going to have a card that is side folding, so I'm going to score right down the middle at 4 1/4. Then I'm going to put it in my paper cutter, and I'm going to cut it in 5 1/2, giving me and with the magic of TV, 2 cards that have been cut and scored. Okay, so we're ready to go. Now, since I'm doing several, I'm going to go ahead and leave this flat for a minute, and I'm going to do my handcrafted by impressing ideas on the back. Why? Well, so that I don't forget to do that, and so that it has a second to dry. So then I'm going to go through my pile, however many I'm going to be doing. I'm going to get that chore done. And I promise I won't do more than that. Oh, thinking of that, we offer custom stamps. So if you do not have a handmade by, or handcrafted by, or made with love by, or whatever, we make those too. Okay, they can be round, they can be rectangle, they can be pretty much any color of ink that you want. They don't have to be self-inking. They can be a plain stamp, and then you use any of the ink pads that you already own to change that up. Anyways, okay, now this is already dry. I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to go ahead now and use my VersaFine Clair in the color Nocturne. And I am going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And I know I'm going to put a pocket in this, so I'm going to go a little bit higher than the middle. Hopefully I am stamping straight. It is handmade, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but we do aim to do our best. Okay. Now I'm going to set that aside. Give that a minute to dry. This is a quick drying pigment ink. I love this ink because it is so crisp, so consistent. Absolutely quality. Love that ink. Do I use that to color with my alcohol markers? No. Could I? You could if you totally heat set that and let it go. This ink, however, it allows me to watercolor, it allows me to use my colored pencils, it allows me to use my alcohol markers. This is just an all-purpose, I can do whatever I need to in the coloring world. So that's why I have 2 different ink pads out. I have already die cut out my heart from my nesting heart set. And this time, because Star Dreams, this is glorious in every way. 105-pound cardstock. It is rich in mica. It just shimmers and it's just glorious. Very, very beautiful all by itself. But because it's a treated paper, the fast-drying pigment ink would not be a wise ink choice. So back to this one. I'm going to use the Lawn Fawn Premium Ink Black. Premium, my tongue is tied. Premium ink pad in the color Jet Black. That way it matches my stamped image ink. And it's just easy to read. Give it a minute to transfer the ink and done. Okay? Now I have already stamped and colored. This is super simple coloring. I used a couple values of yellow, couple values of orange, a blue, soft blue from my casting, some shadow under his sweet little wings. Let's bring that up a little closer. Oops, sorry. I don't know, the camera probably, it doesn't look the same. Anyways, here are my colors. Okay. I'm gonna just glue that down. How about like that? I am a big fan of making things crooked. I love it. I hope it does not drive you nuts. And I put the pin back in so that my glue does not dry out. Because that's a super fine tip. Okay, let's also add some jewels, some pearls, So let's put a few quick glue drops. Let's see, how about here and here. Sometimes the hardest part is figuring out where you want your jewels. In this case, again, we're going to use the Studio Katia Arctic Breeze pearls. There's 3 different sizes in there. I don't know that I'm getting, oh no, I should have grabbed a different one. Okay, let's look for a little. There's a little. Nope, that's the medium. Goodness gracious. All right. Now let's focus on the gold Star Dreams. So anytime you emboss using a 3D embossing folder, one of the best tips that I can give you is to spritz that paper both sides. You don't need to hose it down, but just spritz it. Put it in there, run, close that up, use 1 cutting plate instead of 2, and then run it through your machine going forward and back, and maybe even consider forward and back a second time. In doing that, that moisture allows the paper to come back alive again and to accept being remolded without cracking or tearing. So that is a wonderful way of proceeding. That's my best tip for you. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half now. I'm going to use my bone folder to burnish that score line. That way our card is nice and crisp. And here is the embossed Star Dreams paper. And because you all know that I love my ATG, it's one of my appendages. But in this case, because we have all these different, mountains and valleys, all these different surface area, I want to go ahead and use a liquid glue so that we are certain that no lifting happens in our layers. Am I even making sense tonight, guys? I haven't done a video in so long, I just feel like I'm rambling over here. I hope you all are doing beautifully. Tell me in the comments some of the ways that you've been able to be a blessing to somebody else. Because really that's so important, especially right now. So this gold, I cut it 1/4 inch narrower both in width and height. So my card is 5.5 by 4.25. This gold is 4 by 5.25. Okay, so I've centered that to the best of my ability. Now I'm going to go ahead and, let's see. Let's put that on there. Let's use some foam dots. Let's scoot this over here. Foam dots are just like your dimensionals or your foam tape, except they're clear. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my paper to the dot, press and lift. So you never have to touch these. Press and lift. Put that over there. And I'm going to stick that down. Okay, we're almost done. One more thing I want to do. I cut 1.5 or 2 inch size strips of my leftover of the paper that I was using to die cut out the hearts. Now I'm just going to use this glacier paste, and you could use a sponge, you could use anything. I'm just using my fingers. This is a water-based product that dries super quick. And I'm just going over the surface just to give some highlight. I don't know if you can see this, but it just is this immediate glimmer. Like, super pretty, super pretty. So in some classes, online tutorials that I have offered here recently, we already use lime. We also use gold. Now we have silver and this sea sprite. So this really pretty mint color, just beautiful. Before I finish this, and I don't even know if I said this, this is meant to be a little pocket on the inside. So it is 4 inches long. So I am going to put a little pocket notch in the center of this using my mini envelope punch board. So see that? Just lined it up at the halfway point, which in this case is 2. I'm going to set this aside, throw this away. And instead of having flaps on the side and the bottom, I'm just going to put a bead, thin bead of glue, left, right, and bottom. Because all I'm going to do is put a rewards card on the inside. If you were making this for a birthday card or an anniversary card or a Christmas card or something, this could be a great place to put a gift card. Or it could be a great place to put a handmade tag with a photo or a special memory on it, just to bring that extra smile to them. Okay, let's put our pin back in. Being the responsible crafters that we are, right? Put it back in. All right, so the glacier paste is totally dry. The glue is totally dry. And let's see, let's put in, I know I have a business card somewhere. Oh, it's in my sample. So let's just take that out. We'll pretend that this is a gift card and we'll slip that right in. So that's it, guys. Quick, easy, pretty, and just a way to say you're important to me. Again, in the comments, let me know the things that you're doing to overcome the crazy that's going on right now. I hope it is not affecting you so badly that it's just got you stuck. If there's anything that we can do, please reach out. Please reach out. That's what's so important. Some of us are not really good at telling others that we need something. So if there's something that we can do to make a difference, we are here for you. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope that I get to see you very soon.